Whew. All right. It's time. Full disclosure, I was told by some people, I won't put no names on it because I ain't no snitch, but I was told that he doesn't value Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis plays for LeBron James and he's a LeBron James fan. And as we know, some LeBron James fans do have the habit of diminishing other people's value so that they could big up their star, their GOAT, if you will. And as you can see from what his platform is named, he has LeBron James as his GOAT. So I don't go off of hearsay. I want to get my own eyes on the field and be able to come to my own conclusion. So we're going to give him a chance. I'm not going to try to, just dismantle every single point. I'm pretty sure, there's going to be some points that I might agree with. But the overall point that he's driving home in this video, I do not agree with at all on no circumstances. With that being said, let's get into it. Hit that subscribe button.
For Wally here, who says I'm a stat guy, what are you guys going to use to say that Anthony Davis is a better defender? You guys don't watch Rudy Gobert because he plays in Minnesota and he plays in Utah. How many Utah or Minnesota games have you really watched in the last 5, 6, 7 years? You haven't. You've been watching Anthony Davis, and that's why you think Anthony Davis is a better defender.
Now, I will say he does make a valid point in the broader sense. It's not like Minnesota or Utah games really ever in NBA history has ever been televised nearly as much as Lakers games, or really just been televised that much, like just period. There's years where Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert had the Utah Jazz at the top of the Western Conference. I can remember 2021 specifically, I believe, and they didn't get zero coverage, if any, so much so that Donovan Mitchell got left off an All-NBA slot just simply because they weren't aware of the impact that he was having on the offensive end for the Utah Jazz. So I agree with him there. In a broader sense, people do not know about Rudy Gobert's impact. That's why you have certain people sitting on other platforms talking about how Rudy Gobert is trash defensively, even though on a historical sense, as a rim protector, he comes only behind some of the literal greatest rim protectors we've ever seen. The Dikembe Mutombos, the Hakeem Olajuwons, the Tim Duncans. Those are the people he's rivaling. He's not rivaling players in this era outside of Victor Wembanyama, but he just started. Rudy Gobert is going on his 5th or 6th year of this level of impact.
Anthony Davis does not make the Lakers a good defensive team. He's not better than Bam. Everywhere Rudy Gobert goes, the team defense gets better. That shows you how good of a defender he is. He actually helps the other players play defense because he can cover so much space. He can do so much defensively.
So let's start first, but we're going to break this down into 3 points. First, Anthony Davis not making the Lakers team a good defensive team. That's just not true. From 2021 onward, he has been the definition of consistency. Especially with LeBron James' defensive acumen and his athletic ability diminishing slightly over the years, really all the way up to this point of where his first step isn't the same on the offensive end. And even on the defensive end, even though he still anticipates the offensive player's movement, he's still not able to get to be able to get there in time. It's almost like his mind is thinking faster than his body thing at this point. Whereas when it comes to Anthony Davis is having to do a lot. Darren Ham has implemented him to be more responsible in actions to where he gets switched into the perimeter, whether Austin Reeves or D'Angelo Russell is the original defender on the perimeter. He ultimately ends up being put on the best offensive player. That goes for Stephen Curry. He did it against Luka Doncic. And even in this postseason, even though Jamal Murray hit 2 game winners on Anthony Davis, it cannot go without notice that he was a large reason of why that Lakers team was even able to stay in games or be ahead so much going into halftime for a lot of those games, really over the past 2 seasons against the Denver Nuggets. There's no way that you could justify Anthony Davis' defense not being that impactful to where the Lakers are a good defensive unit. The only reason why they're even subpar defensively is because of Anthony Davis solely. And then to his point, where Rudy goes, he impacts the team defensively. I don't disagree with that by any stretch because I do think People need to give him respect for what he was able to do on Utah. I don't think people realize how bad that defensive unit was on the perimeter. And Rudy Gobert was having to handle a lot on the rim protection side. I think he does deserve credit. He has become a little more comfortable guarding on the perimeter. But the part that's weird to me watching this video so far is just why he's diminishing Anthony Davis's value to big up Rudy Gobert's value. Like, Rudy Gobert does have somewhat of the value he's describing. I think he's ODing a little bit on like how big his impact is on the perimeter. But literally what you're describing of Rudy Gobert is literally Anthony Davis in the gist of it. Like him guarding on the perimeter, him being able to rim protect, him being able to cover so much ground to be able to elevate other people defensively. I don't see how you don't see that in Anthony Davis, but you see that in Rudy Gobert. I'm not understanding that. Add that to the fact that he's playing with much better defensive talent. Like, it's not like Rudy Gobert got there and Jaden McDaniels' defensive impact all of a sudden got better. No, he was already impactful defensively before Rudy Gobert got there, and so was Anthony Edwards. I don't like the way that he's diminishing Anthony Edwards. Not Anthony Edwards-Davis. Chill out, Chad.
He can switch. Anthony Davis doesn't even want to guard his own position. Just like Wally said, the man is soft. He's completely soft. Again, I got him as one of the best defensive big men because, yeah, he could protect the rim. He's an elite rim protector, and I will always appreciate that because you can't just come into the paint with Anthony Davis. He will definitely put his hand up and contest it. But he's not an elite defender. He doesn't shut down nobody in the post. He doesn't go out in the perimeter and prevent anything from happening. He's a liability on defense.
Bro. Oh, God, man. God. Did niggas just not watch him over the last, 3 years? If his point has to do with durability, I wouldn't have a problem with this. But the arguments he's pointing out are whenever he is on the court, you clear as day see the impact right there. Saying that Anthony Davis not wanting to guard bigs justifies him not being as switchable of a big as Rudy Gobert is very, very disingenuous, and it could be flipped around for Rudy Gobert because just as much as you can say Anthony Davis doesn't want to guard the bigs, Rudy Gobert doesn't want to guard on the perimeter. What are we talking about here? Rudy Gobert did not want to go out there and guard Luka Doncic. We saw that. Rudy Gobert does not want to be put into actions because he understands that's not where his defensive value is. So why are you sitting there acting as if Anthony Davis doesn't want to guard bigs, even though he's very effective in the paint? And then what makes it even worse is literally 10 seconds after he says that, he then gives Anthony Davis credit for being a great rim protector. But he's not an elite defender. Pick a side. If he's an elite rim protector, the only way that you're truly able to gauge a big's value as a rim protector is when he's doing it against bigs as well, right? It's not just especially in today's league, a lot of people have this misconception that it's the guards are the main ones orchestrating the entire offense, from the sense of they're able to operate on the perimeter and operate inside the paint. And that's just simply not true. Systems that are in play still and will always be focused on getting the ball to the big because the big can get you the more high percentage shot. That's why Sabonis is still the focal point of the Sacramento Kings, while they still have a dynamic guard in De'Aaron Fox. Sengun, even with having Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, all these other perimeter players that could be able to get shots on the perimeter, and they have people that can be able to add penetration towards the rim, and they still run it through Sengun. The NBA champions, the Boston Celtics, they still knew when it came down to them needing a high percentage shot, they knew who to get the ball to. When Kristaps was on the floor, they knew to get it to Kristaps because Kristaps can be able to generate a higher percentage shot. So while you sitting here acting as if Anthony Davis is this player that doesn't want to guard bigs, but then you also giving him credit for being a great rim protector, part of the reason why he's a great rim protector is because he's also doing it against the bigs. And then Finally, saying he's a liability defensively because he doesn't shut down anyone in the post and doesn't go out to the perimeter and prevent anything, that's ludicrous because Anthony Davis was able to win series off of him being able to go onto the perimeter and actually restrict the best perimeter player on that team from being able to get what they want. You saw it in 2020 when Damian Lillard got off. When Anthony Davis got put into actions and he was actually having to step out, not like much further from the 3-point line, he was having to guard Dame higher than he has to guard really anybody outside of Stephen Curry. He was able to do so rather effectively to the tune of shutting Dame out of the rest of the series from game 3 on. In the series against the Golden State Warriors in 2022, we saw his defensive impact on full display. We saw it on full display. Like, I don't understand how we can give Rudy Gobert like some leeway from having to guard these excellent offensive players. But newsflash, Anthony Davis has been doing that for years, and he's actually been doing an exceptional job on a rather consistent basis.
That's why the Lakers suck on defense. And y'all want to talk what y'all want to talk. By the numbers, LeBron James protects the rim just as good as Anthony Davis has the last 4 or 5 years. Those are actual facts.
Bro, what do y'all want me to do? What do y'all want me, like, niggas talking like this. What do you want me to do? 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 Niggas said LeBron James defends as good as Anthony Davis at the rim for the last 4 or 5 years. Nigga, have you watched LeBron over the last 4 years? Like, I'll give you 2020, I'll probably say his ability to recover in plays was impressive. But by the time we get to 2021, his athletic ability started to drop off rather instantly after he came back from that injury. After he came back from that injury, he was not having the same level of ability to recover in plays after anticipating people's movement. He's not able to do that. If I looked up the stats, I'm rather certain of the last 4 or 5 years, LeBron James does not have a higher rim protection percentage. I'm very certain that he does not have a higher percentage over the last 4 or 5 years. And then let me say this. I'm gonna be as serious as possible. And this goes for everybody. Just because you bring up stats, that does not contextualize everything that they do on the court. I have messages of him saying defensive rating is how he values Rudy Gobert being over Anthony Davis. That's such a non-contextual stat that I'm not even going to bore you guys with that dumbass logic. Just because you point out a stat, it does not coincide with actually watching the game, because Nikola Jokic has higher defensive rating than Anthony Davis. And I dare any of y'all to sit here and say Nikola Jokic's defensive value is the same as Anthony Davis. I would dare any of y'all. That would be foolish. So those are the type of things that we're speaking about when we're talking actual basketball instead of just relying solely on stats. Let's stop doing that.
Like Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson and Max Strus and all these guys look good on defense. The Heat have one of the best defenses because of Bam Adebayo, because of the things that Bam could do. We can play a zone defense the way we play it because Bam could cover so much space and do so much. He's so smart.
Because Duncan Robinson literally got put on the bench. He had to rot on the bench for some time because of how bad he was defensively. So you can't possibly think that Bam is that impactful, because literally Duncan Robinson couldn't be able to be on the floor because of his defensive value. So that's not true. And I just want to say, full disclosure, Bam is like the third best defender in the NBA to me because of his versatility. But I would not go this far for him, because I wouldn't do the same for Anthony Davis. I wouldn't do the same for Rudy Gobert, and I wouldn't do the same for Victor Wembanyama. Like those type of defenders, really any defender, any great defender, they don't necessarily make the players look better defensively. The defensive value is there to be able to cover up for other defensive flaws. So like, for instance, for Anthony Davis on the Lakers is having to recover and put in actions because of D'Angelo Russell's lack of ability to fight through screens. He's able to cover on the perimeter for players like Austin Reeves, who's not very good at reading whether to go over or under on screens. He's able to do those things, but he's also able to come and drag down towards the perimeter because he has the wherewithal of understanding when players are making back cuts towards the rim, right? There's only like 2 teams in the NBA that's able to fully take advantage of Anthony Davis when he steps out of the paint. There's only 2 teams. That's the Denver Nuggets and the Sacramento Kings. Those are the only teams. Bro, what knee pads you got? What knee pads you got? You got Nike, Jordan, because this is some versatile dick sucking I'm seeing right now.
Stick Embiid, exactly. He doesn't want to stick Embiid. He doesn't want to stick Rudy. He doesn't want to stick none of those guys. Embiid cook Rudy. Again, Embiid and Joker both cook Rudy. That doesn't. What does that mean? Who stops Embiid or Joker? Nobody. You guys go take the best players and say they go cook Rudy Gobert. That's what they're supposed to do. That's why they are who they are. That's why these guys won league MVPs.
Wait. So Edey doesn't want to guard Embiid or Jokic, but you were just given information that Gobert guards Embiid and Jokic, and they cook him as well. And you don't care. You can give context for Rudy Gobert, but you can't give it for Anthony Davis. Saying that I ain't gonna lie to you. These narrative conversations is so weird to me. And I understand that narratives is a part of the game. And so I don't have no problem with people engaging. I just don't engage. I don't engage with narratives. The reason why I don't engage is for stuff like this. So you going off of a narrative that Edey doesn't want to guard Embiid or Jokic, even though when he does, even with him, let's say he doesn't want to guard them, he still guards them. You're not seeing LeBron guard Embiid or Jokic for extensive long times. You're not seeing Rui Hachimura guarding them for extensively long times. You're not seeing that. You're typically seeing Anthony Davis guard these players, but you don't acknowledge that. You don't acknowledge that because of a narrative that you've bought into. That's why I don't buy into that shit. This nigga, I'm not gonna lie to you, this nigga's weird. He's very weird. This is like crazy because you can smell the agenda that's trying to be pushed. You're going to lie about his versatility to be able to guard on the perimeter. You're going to say that he doesn't want to guard bigs, even though a player that you bigged up ahead of Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo, also does not want to be a center. You also want to sit here and say that AD doesn't want to guard Embiid or Jokic, but Embiid and Jokic is also cooking Bam Adebayo. They also cooked, well, I would say Jokic cooked Bam Adebayo. Embiid is soft. Narrative. Embiid and Jokic also have their way with Rudy Gobert. Embiid and Jokic also had their way with Victor Wembanyama. We're talking about players that are some of the greatest of all time offensively, and you're giving an out to the other 3, but for Anthony Davis, no. I want to talk narratives. That's weird. But hey guys, let me know what you guys think about this video. Should I do more reactions to other content creators' videos? Because there's a lot of crazy takes out there. But with that being said, please make sure to like and subscribe to the video. We go live every Sunday with Backyard Blitz and Hoopsters podcast. We have more content coming your way, so please don't miss. I got nothing left to say. I'm finna go to bed. This nigga's crazy. Y'all take care. Peace.